What's up, gang? Welcome back to Budget Jams, where I'm inviting you to come along with me on my financial journey. It's February, which means it's time to do our first monthly reset and reflection video. Obviously, January in full has gone by, and I've been trying to do this both weekly and monthly with myself, where I just want to sit down and look back on what has happened in the month prior, kind of like balance my accounts as best as I can, figure out where my expenses went, what I've been using that money for, how that balanced out against my income, and if we're on track to be like meeting our savings goals, or if there are other things that I need to do. Granted, this being the first of this type of video. Hi. Also, this is my cat, who is gonna play an important factor in this January reflection, because I did not have her until the start of January. And you have been expensive, but she's just gonna probably keep wandering around as we do these videos. Her name is Lilac, and she is very, very cute. I love her a lot, even if you're kind of expensive sometimes. The main pieces that we're gonna be trying to stay consistent on, and the main things that I'm gonna be wanting to talk about and check in on every month, is how did the past month go? How did my expenses versus income shake out? Are there things that I would do differently? Did anything catch me off guard? Were there unexpected expenses that are maybe getting in the way of me trying to achieve my larger financial goals? What can I do in this month going forward to continue to contribute to those? I'm just trying to curb my spending in general. I want to be rebuilding my emergency fund. I'm trying to save up for a down payment on a house. And I'm also going to be moving states within the next 9 or 10 months. So lots of big ticket things that we need to start shoveling some money away for. And outside of looking at those larger goals, I feel like every month is just an opportunity for me to kind of look ahead a little bit, say, what is going on in February that I need to account for? Are there things that are gonna potentially cause a bigger impact on my budget? What can I do to kind of mitigate that or account for that? And then are there any just like smaller goals that I can achieve in the course of a month? Are there things that I need to do, things that I've been putting off doing? All right, but since this is the first of all of these videos, let me contextualize kind of what the last 6 to 7 months have been. I did have a pretty massive life change about 7 months ago, which in turn caused essentially a doubling of all of my expenses. And to be honest, it's made the last 6 months like pretty financially challenging. I just feel like I've had a lot of money leaving my accounts as I've moved into this apartment. I've put a down payment on a car. I've adopted a cat. And in hand with all of that, I was also just doing a lot of impulsive spending. So whereas in the past, at the end of the month, I typically have a few hundred or even $1,000 that I could take and put towards my saving or investing goals, the past couple of months, I feel like I've just been bleeding money left and right. I'm gonna pop it up on the side here. You can see how I've shaken out over the past couple of months. And I'll be honest with you guys, like I am really sick of seeing my money go down every month. That is not what we are trying to accomplish here. January became my first month where I really was trying to, I guess, just get a grip on what my spending was, what my expenses were, and just kind of like being more in check with myself. So let's take ourselves over to my office. I'll give us a little bit more context for what some of those fixed expenses look like and what my consistent income tends to be. So I'll see you on over there. All right, so first, let's actually just talk about the basics. I get paid monthly by my day job. My take-home pay pretty consistently is $4,051.55. When we are talking about the course of my budget and my expenses, please just note that when I'm considering my budget, I am only factoring in the consistent wage that I'm getting paid from my day job. Any money that I make from content or from doing other things or selling other things or whatever it might be, any other money that's coming in is never going to be factored into how I'm trying to structure my spending and saving. That's all just a bonus, and it can it has helped me kind of float things over the past couple of months, but it is not something that I am considering a consistent income. I get my paycheck, and then immediately against that, we need to take out my rent, which is $1,355. I have a lease on a vehicle that I'm paying, and that is $391.94. Then I have my insurance, and when we consider insurance, I'm kind of talking about this as like a bundled thing. If you want me to get into the specifics about what each individual breakdown is, please just let me know in the comments. I'm happy to like kind of go as granular as people are interested in, but for the sake of my fixed expenses, my insurance every month has been shaking out to about $349.44. Then I have my phone bill, which is $67.89 every month. I have my internet for my home, $70 a month. And then while I did say that I don't have any debt, that's not technically true because I do have a personal loan to my mom, which I have been paying back for a while. She was kind enough and in a fortunate position where she actually bought out some of my student loans from me. But our agreement was that we would still consider that as debt. But I've been paying that in $75 increments every month. So if we take all of those fixed expenses versus the average take-home pay that I get, that should be leaving me with about $1,742.48 for any other variable expenses or things that I'm doing for fun. I feel like I still don't have a very good grip on my budget, and I'm gonna cut over to the sexiest thing that you can put in a video, which is a spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is what I work from every week and every month as I'm trying to keep an eye on my finances, but I feel like I haven't really nailed this yet. So if we take a look specifically here at my budget by category, I've been trying to kind of shake out like, hey, this is typically what I am bringing home every month. And then these are how I'm trying to kind of budget for my variable expenses, like going out to eat, entertainment costs. I have a separate coffee budget because I found that I was spending a lot of money going out and getting coffee. It is frankly cheaper and easier and just whatever to make it here at home. So having a separate line item for coffee in my budget has been, I guess, helping me stay more conscientious about taking the extra couple minutes to brew it at home. All right, moving on. I also am trying to budget for travel. This is hard. Travel is super expensive. I live very far away from most of my friends and family. I don't think $100 a month is cutting it, and you will be able to see that based off of my expenses from the past few months. Household expenses is just kind of like a general expenditure of things that improve my life at home. Like, for example, later today, I need to go out and I need to buy more hangers because I can't put all of my laundry away effectively. Rent and car payment, I lump into one thing because those are just, they come out the same time every month, and they're always very consistent. They're two of my largest expenses. This next category, I feel like also needs some reworking. I call it Twitch expense. In reality, I think I need to distribute or change how I'm doing this because as a content creator, I have expenses that go into my business of making content. It's important that I budget for that because I do acquire things. Basically, anything that goes into the production of my content, I want to track. I want to have as a separate budget line item just so I can make sure that I'm, always pursuing being profitable in this, which I have yet to accomplish. But how I have this factored in here right now, I don't have the delineation that I need because I have things in here like subscriptions to my friends' Twitch channels, and that I don't consider a business expense. I don't want to mix my like genuine friendly support of my friends in and call it like a business thing or like a networking thing. Like I'm gonna subscribe to someone because I like their content. I think I need to make a separate line item and maybe it gets lumped into entertainment, maybe it's something like that, but I need to delineate that better. And that's why you can see you'll be seeing some more, I guess, inflated costs in this category because it's not well separated at this point. Health, you'll see that this is a really expensive line item and there's some changes in my budget that need to happen as well. The reason this cost looks so inflated is because I've been working with a personal trainer for just about the last year, and it's been really great and really beneficial, but it's also very expensive. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be one of the things that I need to cut out of my life because it is just too expensive to keep manageable. That'll be really unfortunate. It's had a lot of like positive impacts for me, but that item alone shakes out to be about $410 a month. And I literally have a free gym here at my apartment complex that I have not been taking advantage of. That will be a huge boon, I guess, to reducing my expenses, but it is not going to solve everything. And then we finally have a pet line item in here. I adopted my cat Lilac in January, and I think that initial adoption and the startup cost of getting an animal and having some unexpected things also kind of inflated what this month looks like. I think $100 a month is a pretty reasonable estimate for taking care of things like food, litter. But As you can see, there is a big issue here in how my budget is calculating out versus my actual take-home wage. Immediately from the jump on my budget, I am down $154 every month. For those of you who are good at math, you'll understand that going negative every month means that you are losing money, and that is exactly what I've been doing. So if we broaden our view here a little bit, take a look at what November 2023, December 2023, and this past January at a glance have shaken out to be. And you can see that while I am on a good trajectory of reducing my expenses and my spending, I was down $2,000 in November. I was down $830 in December. And even in January, where I felt like I was starting to get a grip, and you can see that my income was much, much higher, I'm still down 40 bucks. I'm trying not to be frustrated with myself, but it is also like really unfortunate to see this much red lighting up on my budget sheet. So let's talk about this a little bit more. I want to take you all through what I'm doing in this sheet and how it's helping me track things. So we're going to go into the second tab in the budget sheet, and at a glance, you can see again, I have built out everything from July 2023 all the way up to February. And at a glance, you can see that I'm trying to do a general just like liquid funds tracking method here. So I can see, have I been going up or have I been going down? And continuing with the trend of how these past couple months have been for me, I have been going down significantly. So I would say at my peak, you can see here in August 2023, I had almost $35,000 between my primary checking and savings as well as my high interest savings account. Those are the three main accounts I have where I keep my liquid money. That is probably an absurd amount of money. In a lot of people's opinion, I think, wiser people would say you should have had a lot of that invested already. Sorry, I haven't. As we trend from August and continue our way on down, as of today, February 4th, I am down almost $15,000 from where I was 6 months ago. That needs to reverse, and it is incredibly reversible, but I'm just trying to stay patient with myself and understand that it literally is, it takes time. It's as much a willpower and reflection game as it is just a time game. It takes time to earn that money back, and then it takes willpower and reflection to keep it in my accounts. So I'll probably blur some of this stuff out just so that anything that is like identifying of like my location or where I live isn't shown in here, but I want you to kind of see how I'm breaking down my expenses, because every week when I'm checking in with myself, I'm going through all of my expenses. So I take a look at my primary checking account, see what's been pulled out of there, making sure that everything is consistent there. And then I basically put all of my other expenses on one credit card that I have. That credit card I pay off every month, so I'm not running any debt on that. I've been very fortunate in that regard. So basically all my expenses come from those two locations. I go through those statements manually. I pull them up online and I enter everything in here, because I personally think that pulling your money in manually and kind of trying to track it directly, money feels really fake to me now that everything is fully digital. I don't remember the last time I've paid for something with cash, but when I used to carry cash all the time, I was a lot more, I guess, reluctant to spend the money, because you physically feel it leaving your hand. And for me, that always made a big impact on how I would choose to spend my money. Now that you can just tap a card or like wave your phone, that money goes away. I don't feel it the same way. So checking in with myself every week and kind of subtracting that and watching the totals go down for myself has been really helpful in rethinking purchases and trying to just be more conscientious about how I'm spending my money and if I choose to save it. And this is every single expense that I had in January. That's all feeding into those kind of general categories. All of this feeds into the categories. It totals it up down here. And then these then play back into my actual budget sheet. When I'm checking in during the week, I can just pop in and look. If it's in the green, we're looking good, And if we're hitting the red, that means I have gone past what my like theoretical set budget limit is. It's funny to me too that I'm still down $40, because all in all, January 2024 was a really good month for me. I made my standard day job wage, and then the content was actually popping off as well. I did a pretty big sponsorship, at least for the size that I'm at, on my Twitch stream.
And then I had a big event as well. This was my fourth year of making content and live streaming on Twitch. So I kind of threw like a big party. My community really turned up. By and large, my best month ever on record for making money by doing content. It's something that I'd like to keep up because, as you can see, I mean, I made significantly more than my typical take home, which I think is helping buffer me. You know, it's like I don't think that my spending was under good control here by any means. I just had more money coming in to kind of offset the damage. It's funny, I was filling this out before I sat down to record, and it was kind of another reality check because I felt like I was doing really good this month, and I still I'm in the negative. So typically what I'd want to do is take money and move it into savings. That's challenging to do, and I feel like I'm still down a bunch of money. I'm lucky that I had a big lump. Like I had a lot of cash on hand, so I've been able to weather this, but it's not sustainable. I mean, if I've gone $15,000 in 6 months, I can't do that for another 6 months. So I need to really start righting the ship. And again, I'm not trying to beat myself up over it, and I know that I'm in a very fortunate position, but we got to turn this around. So did anything catch me off guard in January 2024 that we can kind of look forward into February to see where we can kind of right the course? Yes, absolutely. Again, I've been trying to reduce how much I've been going out to eat. I like cooking. I just have not mentally, I guess, really been in a spot where I've always had the energy to get out and just like make a meal for myself. It's been really tough. So I think that apathy and that struggle has been kind of pushing me to take the quote unquote easier route, where I just was ordering food and I was going out to eat a lot more because you got to eat, but it's expensive. We're getting more on top of it. I think looking towards what February is going to hold, I'm going to try really, really hard in the weeks where I am here and at home to just not let myself go out and buy food. I need to cook for myself. I need to bring lunch to work when I go into the office, and taking advantage of the money that I'm spending on groceries. Because that's the thing too. If I'm budgeting $300 a month for groceries, I should probably be eating that food, because otherwise I'm also just throwing money out, and that's frustrating. Looking at my out to eat budget for February, within this next week, I'm actually going to be traveling back home. I'm turning 31. You know, I know that when being back home, I'm not going to be in my own kitchen. I'm going to be going out and seeing friends and seeing my family. I think there's going to be a lot of dining out in that period. I think I'm probably going to blow or potentially even exceed my $200 budget limit. And I'm just going to have to make up for that money elsewhere. Again, I don't want to deprive myself of things. I don't want to remove myself from having good experiences and letting myself have fun while I'm trying to save. I'm just trying to be realistic with myself and how I'm going to live my life. So my plan is, you know, that time when I'm back home and I'm seeing people, I'll be going out, that money will get spent, and I'll just have to really buckle down when I am back home. I guess the only other outlier that I think pulled some impact was adopting Lilac. Again, I'm thinking $100 a month is pretty standard now that, you know, she's in my home and is settled, but when I adopted her, I had to get a whole bunch of supplies. Her adoption was actually free, which was really funny. I was making a lot of jokes like, oh, look at my cool free cat. But then unfortunately, she also had some medical issues. She came into the Humane Society injured and sick, which meant that I had more vet visits that I had to kind of like take on and stay on top of to make sure that she's healthy. There were medications, all that kind of thing. She's doing much better now, thankfully. But yeah, my free cat ended up being a lot more expensive than I think I originally anticipated. I think a lot of these like higher expenses are going to stabilize a lot in February. I'm planning on working from home more. I've got time off, so I won't be commuting as much. Some of these household expenses that I lump in things like my phone bill into household expenses. I actually just made a huge change with my phone plan where I've cut that bill in half. Some of these expenses look a little bit higher for January because I had to make some steps to basically break up with T-Mobile, and I have gone with a cheaper mobile provider. And I'm probably going to make a video about that specifically because I was astounded at how much money I was just kind of letting myself passively spend to be with this phone carrier, and I'm getting same if not better service for much, much less. So I guess expect to see a video on that soon. It's sort of dumb, but I'm like really excited about it because it was like an easy layup to put like almost 40 bucks back in my pocket every month, and that's no joke. Yeah, I've been making I feel like I've been making some good steps, and like looking at the trends from November to January, it's clear that I'm getting a lot more on top of my shit. Now it's just gonna be staying consistent on that and trying to turn that more into an upswing. Let's take a look now into February. What are some of the, I guess, like more minute goals that I can tackle? I don't feel like I'm making any real progress towards any of my larger goals. So what are some smaller things that I can do to give myself some wins? First things first, for February, I need to kind of just like end my personal training arrangement. And I can't keep paying that $400 a month. That hurts my pride a little bit, I'll be honest, to say like, oh, I can't afford something, but it's the reality, and I don't want to like be ashamed of it. I just need to be realistic with it. There's some other like investment stuff that I need to work on and spend some time with. I have a Roth IRA account that I rolled over from another financial institution, which has not been like reinvested. That has been eating away at me for months and months. I have just been feeling pretty overwhelmed by going through that process. And I know that I just need to sit down and probably talk to someone or like watch a video on YouTube, but I need to get that money reinvested because right now it's not doing anything for me. I also want to find some room in my budget to start contributing to my Roth IRA. I have some other rollovers from like previous jobs that I also need to just get consolidated. It's stuff that I've been sitting on for a long time, and I need to do something about it. This is good motivation as any. I mentioned that a lot of my charters all go onto one credit card. I literally just have one credit card, and I don't like love it. It doesn't give me like a ton of rewards or anything. I just want to do some research, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull a trigger on a different credit card in February. And then my last goal for February, again, I feel like I'm trying to pack in a lot of things into the short month, especially one that I'm going to be gone for a whole week. But I also want to get my taxes filed. Last year I put off doing my taxes for a long time, and it just really weighed on me. And like, I know I have money floating out there that I could get back in a return. And it's money that I think could help me more the sooner I get it. So we're going to get our taxes filed in February as well. I'm trying to be as specific as I can and be an open and transparent as I can with this whole process. I think the next monthly check-in video will probably be much simpler. I won't be contextualizing as many things as I was in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing more of these. You can expect within the next week, we'll be doing our first February check-in video. Again, if you're following along with this journey, you should probably subscribe to the channel. That'll be the best way to make sure that you're getting notifications when I'm putting these new videos out. I'm going to be trying to stay very consistent with it, so they should be coming regularly. Please remember to be kind to yourselves and others. Be good, be careful. Be good and careful. I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.